Do you even really need a separate bank account? After all, you're just doing a side gig, it's just side money. Can't you just deposit that into your regular bank account or take all that delicious cash and just shove it in your pocket and say nothing? Well, one, that would be illegal to just not report the cash, so I certainly would not advocate for that. Also, if you're carrying around tons and tons of money, you're setting yourself up to be a risk for theft or to be held up. When you carry tons of money like that, it gets noticed, even if you don't intend it to be noticed. So that should be deposited somewhere safe and not on your person at all times. But what about bank accounts? Do you really need a bank account for your side hustle? Let's talk about that. Who am I? I'm Gregg. I'm a business owner turned consultant. I'm here to help you stop the grinding away at things that you don't care about, things that you don't like, and start the life living your passions and your dreams. I'm here to help you find success and to help you find financial freedom, build that side hustle. Hey, whatever questions you have, do me a favor and drop those in the comments below so that I can make a video for you answering those questions. Today's question is all about bank accounts. What bank accounts do you really need for your side hustle? Well, the reason you wouldn't put all of your side hustle money in your personal bank account is because you do want to keep them separate. You want to be able to track that money separate and treat it like a business. It's going to help you come tax time if at a minimum you kept the finances separate so that you could see all the inflow and the outflow and make the data available for your accountant for your taxes. Unfortunately, when you make more money, you also have more tax obligations. You have to pay taxes on that. I wish that weren't the case, but it is. We'll pay taxes. We live in a great country where there are services that are provided for us out of that tax money. So regardless of whether or not we like taxes, it's a thing. Now, some of the other things about putting money in a separate bank account is it's less visible as spendable money. When you have a budget and you have a life living out of your personal account, you know that's the money you have. And you can somewhat ignore all of the money in your side hustle account for right now. And we'll talk about why. So I really recommend more than one account. And here's what I recommend and why I recommend it. One, I recommend an account for all the income to go into. This is where everything gets deposited and divvied up from here to the different things that need that money. Even as a side hustle, you're going to have some expenses. So you want a way to be able to pay those expenses. For that, I suggest opening up what's called an OpEx account, operating expenses. So what you can do is you can transfer some money into your OpEx account to pay bills. Whether it's buying supplies and materials or paying for equipment you need, that would come out of your OpEx account. Another account I highly recommend is a separate account for taxes. So every time you receive income, a percentage of that is going to be needed to pay taxes. So once a week, once a month, you can look at the amount of money that came in and take that out of the income account and put it in the tax account. By doing that, when tax time comes, you'll have the money necessary to pay those taxes. You can transfer the money out of that account at that point and into whatever account you're using to pay the taxes with. So that just helps remove it from the visibility of spending money and make sure you have a plan come tax time so you're not caught with a really big tax bill. How much you should put in your tax account varies. I recommend putting at least 15% of your income into the tax account. Now, you may want to talk to an accountant and figure out kind of what your taxable rate may look like. This number is not going to be perfect, but it's going to set you up for success at tax time. Because it's really difficult come tax time when you get hit with a really big unexpected tax bill. You'll have that basically covered. Maybe you'll have a little bit too much in your tax account. That's fine. You can then draw that extra money out for whatever else you need it for. So I do recommend a tax account. Another account that I really personally like to have is the owner pay account. What that is a percentage of my income I want to pay me. I want to pay me first. And I kind of walk through these backwards, but this is really the profit first method. Mike Michalowicz talked about that in his book, Profit First. When I make money, I want to be able to pay myself. That is the point of my side hustle after all. So I would determine the amount of my income that I want to be able to pay me. So that's my money that I get. I would then take a percentage of my income and transfer it to the owner pay account. Maybe I'm not withdrawing that all the time, but I'm leaving it sit there and collect until I'm ready to draw it. Maybe I'm drawing from that once a month, once a year, twice a year, every week. I don't know, whatever your method is, that's like a payroll type account for you. So you may say, that sounds like a lot of accounts, Greg. That's a ton of accounts. Why do I need so many? And besides, when I went to the bank to ask for these accounts, they complained. Well, the bank looks out for what's in their best interest, and sometimes they feel like opening multiple accounts is not in their best interest. Who cares? It's not their job to worry about you. It's their job to worry about them. You need to worry about you and your mindset when it comes to this money. For me, having the money divided up in separate accounts helps me understand what the money is for and what's usable and what's not. So here's how I suggest doing it. 1, money comes into the income account. You never pay bills out of this account. That also helps keep the income account secure and helps reduce the risk of fraudulent money being taken out of the account because nothing's ever paid out of it. You simply transfer money from that account to the other accounts that you do use for paying bills. So all money comes into income. Then I suggest, number 1, you pay yourself. What is the amount of money that you will use to pay yourself? Whether it's a percentage or a weekly amount, you transfer that to your owner pay account. Next, pay taxes. You know you owe taxes, you're going to owe taxes, so take that percentage amount. Maybe it's 15%, maybe it's 30%. I don't know what your number is, but you take that amount of money, transfer that over to the tax account. Now you decide how much money you want available to pay for things or to buy things. You transfer that over to operating expenses. Maybe you leave some sitting in the income account. That's fine. You don't need to spend it all. It can sit there and build up. But this way, by doing it this way, you're paying yourself. You're making sure you get paid because when you have money, it's really easy to spend it. So first, pay yourself so that you're not using all of that money, spending it all, and then you have nothing left over to pay yourself with and you never really get ahead. This is actually a really common problem. So you take money, you pay yourself. You take money, you pay taxes. Now the amount of money that's left over is available for business use. So business use, yeah, your side hustle is a business. So now you have to think ahead though. You know you have some bills. Maybe you have some accounting software or an accountant to pay or an insurance to pay or other things to pay. So you need to make sure you have enough money available for that. Then you realize kind of what's left over now. Now with that, you could use that to either buy additional tools or other things that you wanted for your side hustle. This way you are using a really systemized, good approach to making sure that you're actually getting ahead with your side hustle and not just working hard to make more money and getting nowhere. So overall, this is what I really recommend as the minimum bank accounts that you should have. And I do really actually recommend Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First. I will leave a link to that in the description below. It's all about how to divide up your money and pay you first, making sure you get paid for the work you do. I hope this was helpful for you. And like I said earlier, if you've got a question, I would love to hear your question and make a video for you. Please drop those questions down in the description, down in the comments below, so that I can see what your questions are and I will work to answer those for you. I hope you have an awesome and profitable day.